Hello students, hope all of you are doing well. I'm here again with the next video in front of you of lesson number 10 of your book Haloalkanes and Haloarenes part 2. I hope you have seen my earlier videos, and today video is all about methods of preparation of haloalkanes. Now students, this video is going to be an interesting video. See that you are subscribing to the channel to have such more videos in front of you. Okay, and hit the like button definitely if you are liking the video. Okay, let us start today with this particular topic of methods of preparation of haloalkanes. Now students, haloalkanes, that is alkyl halides, can be prepared from alcohols. Now in that case, let us see by what possible ways from alcohols you can prepare haloalkanes. So the first possibility is by the action of halogen acids. Okay, you can prepare your alcohols. So let us see the reaction now and try to understand how you can prepare your haloalkanes from alcohols by the reaction of halogen acid on alcohols. So let me give you a generalization where I am taking ROH, which is nothing but your alcohol. Okay, now when this alcohol is made to react with your halogen acid HX or hydrogen halide, you are getting back your haloalkane, that is RX. Okay, here basically your this CO bond is undergoing cleavage, and water molecule, that is OH, and this H is released, thereby forming your alkyl halide. Okay, this is the general way. Now in this, these are nothing but halogen acid I said, and these are alcohols. Let me discuss the reactivity of both of these. So you need to make a note of this particular thing, students, and that note is about both reactivity of halogen acids, the order of reactivity of halogen acid. So let me write it is order of reactivity of halogen acid will be how your HI will be the most reactive, and then HBr, and then your HCl. Okay, similarly order of reactivity, or you can say reactivity order for alcohols will be like tertiary alcohols react very fast, and then secondary, and then primary. So this is the reactivity order for alcohols, and this is the reactivity for your halogen in this particular reaction where your alkyl halides are prepared from alcohols. Okay students, now let me tell you one thing. You know that when I am going to talk about the process where I will be taking the examples of various alcohols. This was generalization. Now I am giving you the examples of alcohol reacting with HX. So it is said that when alcohols, now which alcohols I mean to say, primary and secondary, are passed over by HCl gas, and that too in presence of anhydrous ZnCl2. I am showing you the reaction, but the note also I wanted you to write. So in presence of anhydrous zinc chloride, you know what we get? We get primary and secondary alkyl halides. Okay, now you need to remember one thing. This particular process of obtaining primary and secondary alkyl halides from primary and secondary alcohols by passing HCl gas in the presence of anhydrous ZnCl2 is given a name of the process, and that is nothing but Grove's process. The name of this particular process is Grove's process. Okay, let me show you this by reaction. See, I told you I am talking about primary and secondary alcohol. So if I talk about your primary alcohol, taking a specific example of your ethanol. This you know it is ethanol. Okay, you also know that it is a primary alcohol, and commonly it can be referred to as your ethyl alcohol. Fine. Now this we are making its reaction with HCl, as I just now said, HCl gas. Fine. When you are making its reaction with HCl gas, you will see that, and that too, as I said, in the presence of your anhydrous ZnCl2, you will get back your alkyl halide, right? So here you have taken HCl. Let me write your product formed would be your chloroethane, or commonly you can call it as ethyl chloride. Okay, plus your water molecule will be eliminated, and this you know would be a primary alkyl halide, that is ethyl chloride. Okay, as I just now said, primary and secondary will be giving you primary and secondary respectively halides. This process is called as Grove's process. Now students, similarly, let me also give you an example of the secondary alcohol. This I have given you of your primary alcohol. Let me now give you of secondary alcohol. Okay, so this was a particular reaction. Let me indicate now the second one as for the secondary alcohol. Now the name to this, if you wish to give IUPAC name, how do you name it as? You name it as propane, because 3 carbons are there. Propane 2 all, because on the second carbon your OH is attached. Or you can commonly name it as isopropyl alcohol. Okay, now this same way I am making its reaction with HCl gas, yes, in the presence of anhydrous ZnCl2, and what you get back is here CH3 CHCl and CS3 plus H2O will be released. Now this is nothing but 2-chloropropane, 2-chloropropane, and or you can call it in common name as isopropyl chloride, because it is Cl over there. Okay, now this obviously is, if you look at this particular carbon which is attached to OH is attached to 2, so this is obviously a secondary alcohol, and yeah, the product which is formed is also a secondary alkyl halide. Fine. Now students, this was the talk of primary and secondary. Talk of primary and secondary I did. Now let me talk about your tertiary alcohols. You know, tertiary alcohols, however, you need to make a note of this. However, they are observed that they readily react. They readily react with concentrated HCl at room temperature, even in absence of anhydrous ZnCl2. You know, primary and secondary we have taken anhydrous ZnCl2, but here you will see that tertiary alcohols react even in the absence of your anhydrous ZnCl2. Let us have a look at the reaction. Let me take an example of your tertiary alcohol, which is very simple. Now you are all aware, this is an example of 2-methyl, yes it is, you can take this as the longest chain, 2-methyl propane 2 all. Okay, so IUPAC name for this I have given propane 2 all, or it can otherwise in common name referred to as tertiary. Okay, it is tertiary butyl alcohol. Okay students, tertiary butyl alcohol. Now it is said that this particular will react with HCl, and that to which HCl? Concentrated. Okay, concentrated HCl, and at room temperature only it can react. Not like as you were requiring anhydrous ZnCl2. Fine. So room temperature it can react, and it will be yielding you, obviously this particular cleavage of CO will be taking place, and you will get back here in place of OH, Cl will be there in the product. Okay, plus you are having H2O released. So this is nothing but your 2-chloro 2-methyl 2-methyl propane, the IUPAC name of it, and of course the common name you can write it as tertiary butyl chloride. Okay, so tertiary, this is tertiary, and this is also your tertiary alkyl halide, because this is the carbon to which 3 other carbons are attached. That is what is the sense all about for the tertiary. Fine, this was all about the obtaining your alcohols by the action from alcohols by the action of halogen acids. Okay, now let us talk about next, that is by action of how you can obtain haloalkanes by the action of phosphorus halides. Phosphorus halides. Okay, fine, let us talk about this, and let me give you a generalization one where I can tell you that ROH, the alcohol, is reacting with PCl5, that is phosphorus pentachloride, and you will see that you are going to get the yield of, obviously we are preparing alkyl halide, so you will get RCl, that is you will get your chloroalkane over here, chloroalkane, fine, or more commonly you can call it as your alkyl halide. And with this you will also get the byproducts POCl3 and HCl. Now what is this POCl3? Is nothing but phosphorus oxychloride. Okay, so let me write this as phosphorus oxychloride. Now students, if I am giving you the example of this, instead of R, let me write an ethyl group where ethanol I am taking, reacting it with PCl5. Reaction becomes simple. You will get back your ethyl chloride instead of your chloroalkane. This was just a generalization. R, I have just substituted this particular R, you can see. This R I have just substituted by your C2H5, or in place of R I have not substituted, but in place of R I have taken C2H5. So here also the reaction byproducts are same like phosphorus oxychloride, and this is nothing but your chloroethane. All of us are by the time now are aware of naming, okay, or you can write it as ethyl chloride as its common name, and this is ethanol, okay, or ethyl alcohol. Fine, please be in a habit of writing the names below compounds like this always whenever you are presenting your answer. Fine, so we are studying the preparation of alkyl halides, right, from alcohols by the action of phosphorus halide. So I have taken phosphorus halide here, phosphorus pentachloride. Now there is one more reaction where you can see that you can take an alcohol and react it with phosphorus trichlorides like this. Okay, now in this case I have taken 3 here is because you are having Cl3. Fine, that was not taking place here because byproducts here which is leading to formation of phosphorus oxychloride with 3 Cl and 1 HCl. So all these 5 chlorine atoms are being adjusted in the byproducts and the main product. But here it is not happening like this. When you are taking PCl3, here you are taking 3 moles. So pay due attention to this particular number of times you are taking an alcohol molecule. When you are reacting it with PCl3, the product obtained would be Cl. Yes, here also CO cleavage will be taking place and OH is substituted by 3 Cl atoms. Yeah. Now here again important, the byproduct which will be formed will be, 3 times OH will be released. So OH, OH, OH and 1P. You are going to get back phosphorus acid. Phosphorus acid. The name of this is phosphorus acid. You must also have heard about H3PO4, that is your phosphoric acid. This is H3PO3 byproduct phosphorus acid. Now students, yeah, this can be taken as I have taken an example for it. So just very quickly let me show you the example for this. You can see that I can take like this the secondary alcohol. Okay, let me take this as 3 times, and again let me take PCl3 as I am giving you the example of this only. So you can see that you get back your secondary compound here of alkyl halide, namely 2-chloropropane. This is your propane 2-ol and byproduct is H3PO3. Okay students, this was how you were preparing your haloalkanes from alcohols by reacting it with phosphorus halides. So let us have a look once again here. See what you have done till now. You have studied the preparation of haloalkanes from alcohols and by action of halogen acids, and then by action of your phosphorus halides. Okay, now I will move on to the third one, that is by action of how you can prepare from alcohols itself, but by action of thionyl chloride. Okay, so we will take alcohols only, but using thionyl chloride, how we are going to prepare. Let us have a look. Let me give you a generalization like ROH, alcohol, and yes, this SOCl2 is what is referred to as your thionyl chloride. Now when it is made to react with thionyl chloride in the presence of a base like pyridine, okay, it will be giving you the product of your alkyl halide, where your SO2 and HCl are the byproducts. Fine. Now students, very interesting point in this, what you need to know about the reaction of alcohols with thionyl chloride is, this particular alkyl halide which is obtained over here is a very pure one, very pure. You know why this is very pure is because this SO2 and these HCl, the other two byproducts, evaporate off. So you are left over with only alkyl halide, and hence one important again thing which you need to keep in mind is this reaction is a very important one for preparation of your alkyl halides, though you have seen earlier that it can be prepared with the help of phosphorus halides and halogen acid. This is considered to be the best. Let me give you the example of this. CH3CH2OH, suppose you are taking, which is your ethanol, okay, and you are reacting it with SOCl2, again the same reaction. In the presence of pyridine, you will get back CH3CH2Cl that is ethyl chloride, and your SO2 and HCl will be released. So your chloroethane which is obtained is your pure one. Okay, these are IUPAC names I have written. Fine students. So as I have brought to your notice, this is one of the best method. So we were studying from alcohols how you can prepare the alkyl halides. So these are the three subheadings under which you were preparing them. Now for these three, let me give you a note. You know what is that note? Above methods which we have just discussed. Yes, the above methods are not applicable. Can you guess what I wish to convey? Yes, they are not applicable for preparation of aryl halides. Now why aryl halides can't be prepared there is a reason. Yes, yeah, there is a reason. Now what is the reason? You can see that aryl means you have a benzene ring. So that particular C and X bond becomes shorter and stronger. So it becomes difficult to break the bond, which was found in case of such aliphatic to be very easily broken. These COH bond were easily broken, but not in aryl halides. So above methods which we have used for the preparation of alkyl halides are not applicable for your aryl halides. Fine, this was from alcohols. We have seen the preparation. Now let us see the preparation, second one, of these alkyl halides from hydrocarbons. Okay, now hydrocarbons, you are very well aware, compounds containing carbon and hydrogen. Fine. Now under that, again first you can prepare from alkenes. Now this you have studied in your 11th standard also, students, that you can prepare your alkyl halide from alkenes. And let us take directly an example of butane You can see I've written 4 carbons. So this is your butane. Okay. Now this butane can be made to react with chlorine in the presence of UV light. Okay, LIGHT light. Now here you will see that you are going to get the mixture of the products. You can see I've written here chlorobutane you will get, and apart from that you will also get 2-chlorobutane. So you can say that we basically get back the isomeric mixtures in this case, and they are not so easy to separate. This you need to keep in mind. They are, difficult to separate. Fine. Now this was one of the simple ways through which you can see that you can prepare your alkyl halides. And chlorination continues also in the presence. You can continue doing the chlorination of this. Okay, now let us study the second one, that is hydrocarbon itself, but from alkenes. Okay, alkenes, that is the double bond containing compounds. Here you have taken alkanes. Now how from alkenes you can prepare, that is again a very important one. Now in this, let me talk about the first one. By addition of halogen acids. By addition of halogen acids. Students, halogen acids can otherwise also be referred to as your hydrogen halides. Okay, fine. Now see how you can prepare these alkyl halides from alkenes by treating them with halogen acids. So let me take a generalization where I am taking this and I am reacting it with HX. This is your halogen acid and this is your alkene, a general one. So usually what happens, a weak bond between these two is breaking. Addition is taking place across this particular double bond by breaking a weak bond, that is pi. You know, one bond is sigma, one bond is pi. So what happens? Only one bond is remaining and HX distribute themselves. To one carbon H is attached and to other carbon X is attached. Okay. Students, in case of symmetrical alkene, you are knowing symmetrical alkene means you will have same number of carbon atoms across the double bond. In case of symmetrical alkenes, there would be no issue. The product would be the same. Either you put X here or H here or this. But what if you are having an unsymmetrical alkene? That is a question mark. So suppose you are having an unsymmetrical alkene like this. Okay, suppose you have an unsymmetrical alkene like this. To this you are adding your HI, any halogen acid. Okay, here. Now here, one thing you need to keep in mind is, what will you do? Obviously it is an understanding, it is having a double bond, so addition of HI will be taking place across a double bond. But take a note that this is propene, and this propene is an unsymmetrical alkene. Okay, it is unsymmetrical. Now what do you understand from unsymmetrical? I just now told. Across the double bond, if you will see, there are different number of carbon atoms. Here only one carbon atom, here on to left side you have 2 carbons. So this is ultimately unsymmetrical alkene. So addition need to follow a rule. Okay, and so what is that rule? You know, that rule is Markovnikov's rule. You have studied this in your 11th. So let me write this as Markovnikov's addition takes place over here. Now what is that Markovnikov's rule? That Markovnikov's rule says that in addition reaction of alkenes with halogen acid, the halogen, the negative part of the addendum, this is addendum, the negative part of the addendum or I of your halogen acid attaches itself to the carbon which is having less number of hydrogens attached to it. You can see obviously HI will be added to these 2 carbons. But this carbon is having 2 hydrogen, this carbon is having 1 hydrogen. So iodine here will be added to the carbon which is having less number of hydrogen atoms attached to it. I hope you are able to understand what I mean to say. Okay, H will be then added to the other carbon. So in this case, the product which will be formed will be like this. Okay, now do you think that this will be the only product formed? Students, no. Other product vice versa can also be formed, where your I can be attached to your first carbon and hydrogen to the second. In that case, the product obtained would be this. But The major product is this. Okay, this is your major product. Now this formation of a major product owes to the Markovnikov's rule. Okay, so this you need to keep in mind. Now here again I wish to give you a note. And what is that note? Order of reactivity of halogen acid. So reactivity order you can note of halogen acids. Now what is that? Simple. HI is the most reactive, then you have HBr, then you have HCl, and then you have HF. So this is the reactivity order for your Markovnikov's reaction or rule to be followed for addition in case with alkenes. Okay students, now let me take the second one. In this itself you can obtain by addition of halogens too. Okay, halogens. Now let me take an alkene like that of ethene like this and see that I am adding bromine in presence of carbon tetrachloride. Okay, addition of bromine in presence of carbon tetrachloride with ethene is taking place. This is ethene. What will happen here? Yeah, of course the double bond, because it is addition, double bond will break and Br will be added to both the adjacent carbons. Okay, so this is 1,2 dibromo, yes, dibromo ethane formed. Now you can remember that these are referred to as vicinal dihalides. If I can recall, I have brought to your notice this in one of my videos. Now students, what happens here, important thing which you need to keep in mind is, for this reaction is, I want you to note also, when this reaction is taking place, no students, the brown gas of bromine is discharged. Okay, what is it? Brown gas bromine is discharged. It is discharged and it gives you colorless vicinal dihalide. Okay, so therefore this reaction, this particular reaction is used as a test for detection of, double or triple bonds in organic molecules. Fine. So what I wish to convey, I am repeating again, this particular test, that is addition of halogens to such type of alkenes in the presence of CCl4 when you are taking place, bromine gas is released. Now bromine gas is brown in color. So when this is discharged, it can easily be understood that there must be a double bond which is leading to finally formation of a colorless vicinal dihalide compound. Fine. So that was the second way. From hydrocarbons you have, from hydrocarbons you have prepared your alkyl halides. Now the third and the important one is nothing but your halogen exchange, by halogen exchange. Halogens we all are aware now students. So by halogen exchange also you can prepare your alkyl halides. Now under this let us discuss different types of reactions, and let me tell you from exam point of view, this is very important topic which we are right now discussing. Now the first one here we are going to discuss is nothing but an interesting reaction with an interesting name, and that name is Finn-Kilston reaction. Okay, this is Finn-Kilston reaction. Now in this reaction, what mainly are prepared or easily are prepared are nothing but alkyl iodides. Alkyl iodides are prepared. You can say they are easily prepared through this Finn-Kilston reaction. Now what is this Finn-Kilston reaction? So in this case it is said that you are taking your alkyl halide, okay, and you are reacting with sodium iodide. Okay, now here X can be your Cl or it can be your Br. Take a note of this. Alkyl chloride you take or alkyl bromide you take and react it with sodium iodide. And what you get, yeah, another thing, take the reaction in presence of this particular solvent, that is acetone. Now what do you know? CX bond here will be breaking, and iodine is also a halogen and X is also a halogen. What happens? This bond will be breaking and I will be substituted in place of X, and NaX will be coming out. So you can see that you have exchanged the halogens, and hence the heading by halogen exchange is given. So what is the product formed here is alkyl iodide. And yes, this particular NaX will be precipitated. Students, you need to keep this in mind, that this particular NaX, will be insoluble in the solvent. This is insoluble in the solvent, that is acetone, which we are using here. And alkyl iodide is formed like this through your Finkelstein reaction with the use of your alkyl halide. Okay, as both of them are having halide, and exchange is taking place, so the name is halogen exchange. Now students, in this another interesting reaction, this under halogen exchange itself, the another interesting one which I would like to bring to your notice is the Schwarz reaction. What is that reaction I am talking about now? Is your Schwarz B. First one we have studied by halogen exchange. Under that we are going to now talk about the second one, that is your Schwarz reaction. Now students, this is also asked in exams, okay, frequently. Finkelstein and this Schwarz reaction. Now in Schwarz reaction, what will be formed? As I told you, in Finkelstein alkyl iodides will be formed. In your Schwarz reaction, it is said that your alkyl fluorides are formed. Alkyl fluorides are prepared. I mean to say, they are prepared easily. Okay. Now in this case, let me give you an example. Suppose you are taking CH3. I mean, you have to take a bromo compound. Here you are taking bromomethane and you are making its reaction with AgF. It is a metal fluoride. Students, this is a metallic fluoride compound. Okay. Now when you are reacting this with a metallic compound like silver fluoride, what happens here? Yes, you must be understanding now. Exchange of halogens will be taking place. So the product which you will be getting back would be, as I said, alkyl fluoride. So this is methyl fluoride or fluoromethane formed over here. Okay, and here AgBr as a byproduct will be formed. Now here, apart from this AgF, you can also use other metallic fluorides like AsF5 you can use, or you can use SbF3, or you can use fluoride of cobalt, or you can use Hg2F2 also. All these are also metallic fluorides. Okay, you can use in this particular reaction, Schwarz reaction, all these metallic fluorides. Okay, it may so happen that the alkyl halide which you have taken over here may have 2 times Br in it. Maybe the compound you are taking is 2,2-bromopropane. And then in that case you can take like antimony trifluoride, SbF3 type of compound, where you are having more number of fluorine atoms to undergo the reaction. That is why all other possibilities are being shown like this. Okay. Now students, under halogen exchange, let me tell you these 2 important reactions which we have studied are very important. Now let us proceed further how you can prepare your alkyl halides. That is the next part. From silver salt of fatty acids. Now this particular topic is important from point of view of exams like JEE, NEET, good CET. Such type of topic are being discussed in that. Now under this, students, first I will be discussing about a reaction, namely borodine, Hunsdiecker reaction. Now students, this is not given in the NCERT textbooks, but yeah, as they are asking in the exams, I thought to discuss the reaction with you. Okay, now in this, basically the, as I said, silver salt of fatty acids are taken. So let us take an example like CH3 CH2 COOAg. What is this? Silver propanoate. This is an ester type, so you can call this compound as silver propanoate. Now this is taken and it is made to react with Br2. Okay, now here students, you can take Br2 also and Cl2 also. I mean, it can react with bromine or chlorine. Now in the presence of CCl4, you are basically refluxing bromine with silver propanoate. And what do you get back here is CH3 CH2. You can see here you will be getting Br, and it is said that CO2 is released and AgBr is also formed as the other byproduct. So what do you ultimately get here is bromoethane. Now such type of reaction is referred to as Borodine-Hunsdijker reaction. Fine. I told you that here your bromine or chlorine both can be used. But students, if you will just note, no, this OBr bond in context to OCl bond, this is weaker bond than compared to this. So this can be easily prepared through this. So I hope this particular reaction is understood to you. Fine. Now under this, the silver salt of fatty acids itself, let me give you another naming reaction, and the name of that particular reaction is Birbaum-Simonini. Okay, it's Birbaum-Simonini reaction. Now both of these are again very interesting. As I said, this is also not given in your NCERT textbook in this particular lesson. Fine. Now in this, what happens, you can take, as it is fatty acids of silver salt only you need to take. Let me discuss a generalization. Like suppose I am taking silver salt of fatty acid like this, a general one, and in this case iodine you are taking. Okay, iodine you take and you are reacting, again refluxing it in the presence of CCl4, and you will see that here you will not get, take a note of it students, what I am saying here, you are not going to get your alkyl halide. Though this is an exception situation which I am right now discussing, though we are studying the preparation of alkyl halides, but here this is an exception I am showing you because of the similar type of the reaction under the heading. Okay, here you are not going to get an alkyl halide. What you are going to get here is an ester. What you are going to get in Birbaum-Simonini reaction, you will get an ester, and in this also your CO2 is released with 2 moles of AgI also formed in the byproduct. So let me give you an example related to this particular reaction, a specific one. Here I have just taken R. So you can take 2 moles of like silver acetate like this. This is silver acetate. Okay, silver acetate you take and make its reaction with iodine in the presence of CCl4. You will not get an alkyl halide. Take a note of it. Again I am speaking this. Fine. Now this will give you an ester which is CH3COOCH3. This is nothing but methyl acetate. The name of this is methyl acetate. Okay, or methyl ethanoate. This is common name. You can name this as methyl ethanoate because of it being an ester. And the byproducts I have shown already in the generalized reaction, AgI will be formed. So students, I hope you have liked the various reactions in today's topic, where we have focused on to the preparation of your haloalkanes. Okay, So see that you are referring to all these reactions for preparation of haloalkanes again and again for your easy understanding. And hoping that you have liked my video. See that you are subscribing to the channel, convey it further to your friends, and keep studying. Stay happy. Have a nice day. Thank you.